Halloween Horror 2024. This is Amnesia, a machine for pigs. I am DHG. If you like my content, do hit that subscribe button. I don't have a problem with view time, but I got a subscription problem. Remedy that. As it turned out, I didn't know how I was going to separate this game up, but I've been doing it 2 chapters at a time. It falls within my time frame and it works nicely. So these will be chapters 7 and 8. Rusty old piece of wood. That sounded good. Sounds like he's coughing up blood. Oh yeah, that's right, I wasn't in an elevator. This was some sort of like, almost looked like a, you know, there's things in the apartment that sometimes they put trash in, the trash chutes. Oh, like a tiny elevator. It was one of those types of things. What have we got here? Sabotage. Again. Bruised and battered, but alive. I have survived the saboteur's best efforts. He and I are now locked in an epic struggle. But I am driven to find my family, and I will prevail. Ignore the madness about me. Do not consider what cruel and unspeakable acts have been committed here. Find the way to the bilge. Drain the flood. Free your children. And turn on a damn light. Oh yeah, I'm crouched. I'm like, wait a minute, did that little ride there make me shorter? Did it kneecap me? I can't see my legs, I wouldn't know.
Quickly, Mander, find the entrance nearby. The children weep in the darkness.
The hell, this isn't my drink. Oh, that's my tea. Sorry. Pour myself a drink here. Alright. I hope you heard what he said because I missed it. Looks like we're gonna have a nice little dental procedure in this thing. Oh, the way that chair's set up, it kind of reminds me of like a goalie's pads from hockey. In order to facilitate assimilation of tissue groups, a compound is required, or the cells will not bond. Disposal of non-bonded subjects must mediate using incineration, or we risk continuous animation without form. It is unpleasant. A simple compound of 1 part Brennenberg infusion vitae. I kind of remember that shit. Vitae, the first game, Vitae. What was Vitae used for? Oh, that played a big role in that game. I can't remember exactly what it was, though. Vitae, 1 part orgone monad dispersal fluid is sufficient. This can then be administered intravenously to subjects following reassembly to maintain bonding. The compound is unstable and highly light reactive. Once in the body, the Schumann lamp can be used to activate the compound, but outside the body is highly corrosive. It can even destroy small quantities of metal. Nothing to see here, we're just doing some standard textbook medical work. Totally on the up and up, Governor. Look at that lock. I've got a note. There is clearly another passage beyond the locked gates. It seems I have a choice of approach. The padlock is old but firm. Oh, they just talked about corrosive acid. And after that fall, I cannot summon the strength to break it open. So I can find another way. Oh, you mean you can't do like Sebastian Caliantos and Evil Within and just break those things with your fist? That frog never knew what hit him. Can't believe that's actually on. Usually I have to turn the lamps on. What's in here? Now, where are my false teeth? Nothing. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, and watch. And the world's weirdest looking paperweight. The centrifuge. Some form of bizarre mixing device for chemical compounds. And it positively reeks of the foul fluids I have seen too often before. It is clearly a compound, some volatile bastard of two composite ingredients. I should wager I would find them close by. Does that say? Low temperature storage. Does that say? Holding pens. Let's go to the holding pens. The holding pens? Sounds like something might have gotten out. Oh, okay, yeah, these weren't... They're not holding what I thought they were holding. These are the cages that they keep humans in. Do not startle or upset the acquisitions. He doesn't call them humans anymore. He's beyond that. He's a Darwinist. Just like the Nazis. They don't see their quest for evolution as against humanity itself. Because they're not humans. Only the enlightened are humans. Only the worthy are humans. The Übermensch and the Untermensch. A machine for pigs. I don't know if that thing stays a persistent threat in this room or if it just popped up to give me a scare. This damn thing's supposed to have Chinese food in it. Leaves me with nothing. This is not open. What is that doing down here? For a second I thought ominous music started playing. August 20th, 1899. Took delivery of another batch of imbeciles today. They are the sorriest, but that's not a word we use anymore. They're the sorriest specimens of humanity I have ever seen. No one asks where they go. The authorities of Bedlam are simply happy to reduce the overcrowding and their teeming, stinking halls. We measure their skulls, check their teeth. We give them laudanum to pacify them. They wait in line, livestock, dull brown eyes and filthy skin. Many then soil themselves as they wait. Into the manipulator they file in silence. I hear the hissing of gas. I hear the dull groaning of teeth as teeth are removed, as bones are reset. I hear the pigs screaming. We have removed all the mirrors. After the process, it is the reflections that troubles them the most. Afterwards, when they sleep, I walk amongst them. My children, I whisper to their dreams. You are my children now. I have children once again, and your forms imperfect will be the engines to make my own blood flow again. So in the Darwinist world this man lives in, he fancies himself a god. Sounds like the old Gnostic goal of to be God, to become
Over
God.
there, place it in the corner. What? You think I speak Prussian? Do I look like an inbred hog, sir? Who gives a damn what it contains? Just set it down carefully and leave me be!
He's quite a nice fellow. I want to go that way. I don't think this was open a second ago. Remember, that thing was once human. Not entirely certain if it sees me. Oh yeah, he sees me. It wants revenge! The protagonist fancies himself a god, and he was about to be the victim of deicide.
The lift has been sabotaged. You will have to find another way to the tunnel. Take care in this place, Madness. It is the crucible and the evil that stalks these corridors.
This protagonist sees humans as no different than the Nazis in the concentration camps. I think we're at that point now where I can just start dropping those eggs. You know, not too dissimilar from the last thing that I read here. This thing. The Nazis also had the quest to improve and evolve humanity in their own way. It seems that every time that humans try to force evolution, it winds up in a lot of people dying and a lot of evil being done. And now we hear a lot of talk from the transhumanist side of the science community. I use the term science loosely. About that man needs to evolve once again, people like Yuval Harari. It's been long enough so that everyone that experienced World War II with their own eyes has died off. They're trying it again. All those families of the old Europe, the Americas, and other places throughout the world that had stake in what was supposed to be the fascist 20th century. They want their second go at this. Can only do it once. Whereas last time around, they sort of went with the old conquer and just force everyone into this new world order. This time they're doing the more subtle Fabian approach. Fabian meaning Fabian society, where you infiltrate every aspect of government, culture, society, and you reshape it to your image, put your ideas into it. Oh, I came from downstairs, okay. I was gonna say, wasn't I just here? August 4th, 1898. More experiments with Compound X. It's a dog, and injected it with strychnine. You demon. After the expectant convulsions and spasming, it died just after midnight. I immersed the body in a large tank of Compound X and introduced an alternating current via induction coil for a period of 3.5 minutes. Partial return was induced. However, damage incurred prior to death was retained upon revival, meaning the dog continued in the acute state of strychnine poisoning until I put a bullet in its skull. But drowning? Perhaps, yes. It is, after all, known to be the kindest of suicides. If one were to drown, replacing the fluid in the lungs with Compound X should theoretically be perfectly possible as a revival method. This guy's pure fucking evil. And this path is open now. Okay, I sense something in one of these tubes. Here it is. Get in there. Guess I'll go this way.
It fell onto his hands and they eroded in front of me. To stumps. To stumps. Next time we will use an equal mix of infusion vitae and orgone disperser. No, just take him out. You could dump him in the river for all I care.
Instead of giving the homeless, the infirm, and the downtrodden education, welfare, and an opportunity in life to improve themselves to become the best version that they can be, they just use them for eugenics experiments. A warning. Inflamed it is. Burning it does. Bleeding from each hole, fore and aft, leaking down my legs, blood and excrement. My lungs are in my vomit. I pass clots of my organs now onto the filthy stone. Drink this, he says. And I did drink it. I did do that. Why is the I not capitalized? Because of the changes, they ripple inner me. It's a weird way of putting that. They ripple inner me. My teeth sneeze out and scatter like mice in the dark. I cannot find them all. Gather what I can. I push them back into my gray gums with my fingers, but the nails are all weepy and falling out. Drink it, he says. It'll help the running of the fever. Because Not all us can take the change. On the other table, a beast under a blanket. I never wanted to see that. But he drank it too. He passed it under the blanket, and I heard it drink. Dear God Almighty, how can a man shit so much blood and still live? I don't think that is the protagonist that wrote that. Sounds like I may have a visitor. Yep. Or not. Usually when this... Yep, I was gonna say usually when that starts flickering, Pigman shows up. Oh shit, I got nowhere to go. Oh shit. That actually made me jump. I'm not easy to startle. Come on, sit in there right. Not the right one. There we go. Now there was a third one over here. Wait. Okay, yeah, I just... My brain stopped working for a second there. It happens. Where is that damn thing? Okay. I tried sending them both over there the first time, but the second one wouldn't go in. Probably because at the other end of this tube, there was still something over there. Thank God there's no, health. You just take damage and then you heal. This must not be the right thing. I might not even need another. See if this works. There were 3. I thought it needed 3. Oh no, the product comes out the third one. Okay. Yeah, just drop it, see what happens. It's supposed to be highly volatile. A heady brew. I have the compound. It hisses and steams in its container like some living thing. A witch's jelly to burn and corrode. The container is made from glass. A strange choice unless there is some particular reason why the metal that pervades everywhere else cannot be brought into contact with this so-called Compound X. I should investigate further for clues. You mean I gotta carry this all the way up here? God, it's like a whole 30 steps away. Jesus. That's not a good sign. Let me guess. Let me see if I can throw it over there. You fucker, you're supposed to throw it, not drop it. Apparently I can't do that. Well. You serious? Alright, you can turn back off now. I don't want to see the frog dance anymore. Ah, there we go. I was wondering why you... I was wondering why you can manipulate this thing like that. Must have stood there for 5 or 6 minutes trying to figure that out.
Down here, Daddy. Faster, faster.
On to chapter 8, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this would be 8. Rhododendrons. Still got my trusty old lantern. October 22nd, 1899. Naturally, once bled, the product must be scalded, de-haired, and scraped ready for gambroiling. I don't know what gambroiling is. In evisceration. For this, we pass them through the steam reservoir, which is kept at a constant temperature by passing excess high-pressure venting from the engines via the boiler and series of large copper pipes into a stone chamber just below the workhouse. At the center of the machine, There is a compound that must be kept at a consistently low temperature, which controls operations of the processing of product throughout the system. Alongside this, refrigeration is of the utmost importance in retaining product quality, and this also requires heat to be removed from certain areas of the machine. Two problems are therefore combined into a single solution: the removal of heat from some areas and the requirements for increased heat in others. Conducting panels draw heat from the principles of convection regulated by the boiler and sending freezing air along one of the sets of pipes in one direction and superheating vapors in the other. Butchered that reading a little bit.
Isn't it dangerous allowing this filthy discharge to collect so close to the core?
We can use the flow to drive the turbines. There will always be a torrent of excreta flooding through these tunnels. We can use this to supplement the steam production and ensure constancy.
God, the stench! This fecal matter is the true product of the age.
God, these people are demons. Flooded tunnels. My mysterious friend is correct. The sewers are indeed flooded. To descend further, I will have to find the local sluice pipes, or local sluice pumps to drop the water levels. The smell is almost unbearable. It makes me gag. Why should the saboteur have flooded the tunnels, though? What did he hope to achieve? This coffee smells like shit. It is shit, Austin. Oh well then, I know it's not just me. Haha. Paying homage to one of the enemies in the first game, I see. Yes, that was one area in the first game that most people didn't make it past. The, I don't know what they called that thing, the water demon? That was fairly early on in the game, too. I still don't know what I'm gonna do for the Halloween horror finale this year. It's either gonna be one of two games: Silent Hill 2, the original, or Amnesia, The Dark Descent. Considering I'm playing this, it's probably gonna be the former. Usually my light flickers when I'm in danger of one of those things. This is definitely not somewhere I want to get caught up in. I can't see a thing. Like, anything. Dare to turn the light on. The hell? Where did it go? It must have been on the other side of these bars, because it... nowhere else could have went. Just sounds like shit sloshing around in here, because that's what it is. Another pig head back there. They're all throughout this game. I don't really know why they're there. Symbolize something maybe, other than, you know, the pig. Maybe the protagonist kept those things scattered around as vanity items, maybe. August 1st, 1899. Hopefully I don't butcher this reading. Several of the older forms have breached their containment area and escaped into the sewers. They remind me of my limitations. There is no Clem. This is no Clem, and I am no... I'm not even attempting that name. At least, not quite yet. It is the heat generated from keeping the doorway between open that is to blame. We cannot simply pack them about with coolant as we do at the center where the doorway is. The later versions are kept safe by the freezing temperature of those towers. Up here, where their air is hot and fetid, they become overheated, and their duality tears them asunder, as the other place flies from their cells and their vitae splinters. They live sporadically, torn from one world to the other and back again in violent, unpredictable bursts. For a few seconds they are creatures of this world, then they are torn away and cease to have a physical form. This vicious ripping back and forth between worlds has driven them quite insane. I have ordered the affected areas sealed, and will not allow my loyal workers to enter. These are damned places now, the abode of failed experiments, ghosts of fear and spite. I wish I knew that reference he was talking about, Clem and Elihu. I'm also trying to ascertain if he's talking about something within the physical realm as well, or if he's talking about some sort of like a weird metaphysical being. Sounds like the former, but then there's that thing prancing out in the water out there that you can't see, so you don't know. Oh, I thought the game just about froze up. Thank God it didn't.
Faster, Mandus. Trade the waters and open the way to the bilge pumps. We are waiting for you.
We? Who is this we he speaks of? I don't gotta walk in this shit, do I? Where did I come in at? Oh, this way. I want to make sure I didn't miss a handle to turn, or a handle, a lever, whatever. A lever, handle, a bar of soap. Dial. This area is dark. Yeah, because you see, that thing prancing around makes that last text sound like something from the metaphysical realm, which you can't see. I mean, it's there, you just can't see it. It's outside of your senses. That was weird. It sounded like a guitar just started playing right there. Yeah, I've already been here. I don't remember if this was open last time or not. Gate, probably not. Sluice gate one. Okay, no, this was not open. I don't think. Say you.
But we can save them. We can set them free. We can replace a rotten old world with a clean new one. Mr. Douglas, you sound every bit the fanatic.
Well, how can I be otherwise, Professor? How can any man of ethics simply stand by and watch this world drown in its own excrement?
And your engineer. This visionary with whom you embarked upon this course, does he share your views?
Indeed he does. Indeed he does. The poor fellow has seen it all before. Now, this is not the first great civilization he has wept for.
And so you set about things immediately upon your return.
Naturally. These things cannot be left to rot upon the tree. And sponsors were remarkably easy to find. I tell you, Professor, a trail of greed brings rich men to your door like pigs to truffles.
You ever noticed how all the utopian worldviews always end up going to hell? There's a saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Communism. The proletariats revolt, overthrow the bourgeoisie. Control the means of production. A workers' dictatorship, yeah. Never works though. And quite frankly, it doesn't even sound that good. Then, on the other side of them, you have what's happening here in America and across Europe, again, with, well, in America they're called Christian nationalists, which I'm Christian, but I don't share these people's views at all. It's the same thing as the woke, just under a Christian veneer. February 17th, 1899. And I said, "Look, my darlings, can you see it?" And they said, "Yes, Daddy. Yes, we see it. A tall, weathered cap of a steep-sided pyramid. So like those of Egypt. Stone falling away from the summit. Vines crawling about, intertwining the stucco serpents that thrive about the steep steps. A palpable sense of stillness. A weight of forgotten. And this, here, this is where the king sat. This is where the priests lived. This house. This is the house of the dead. And here, where the sun strikes, this is where they threw the hearts of... This is where they threw the hearts that were not consumed. No, my darlings, they most certainly were not savages. You see, they believed that the sky could fall on their heads, and they truly, truly believed that offering blood was the only way of stopping this from happening. Oh, that relates to so many things today, it's not even funny. Perhaps my darling, perhaps they were mistaken altogether. Or perhaps their tragedy was that they simply could not spill enough blood to prevent the sky from falling upon them. Oh god, that reminds me of something I tweeted earlier about Baphomet and the whole transgender movement. Baphomet, the depiction that was put forward by the kind of comical nowadays, but actually a very important historical figure, Aleister Crowley, the occultist MI6 agent. He drew a picture of Baphomet for one of his many cults. I mentioned him in an earlier episode. And the Baphomet picture had, of course, you know, Baphomet's always taking the image of like a goat in pictures, but this is a goat. Bearded face, one female arm, one male arm. Like I said, a beard, but female breasts. Androgynous. Sound familiar? Then I'm also mentioned a correlation between a transgender movement and an old Greek god named Attis. A lot of the people, when... Not sure what the word for this is. But Attis had cut his own genitalia off for some reason or another, And then a lot of his followers did the same thing as sort of like a tribute. They became eunuchs. I mean, how hard would it be to use sophistry and manipulation to convince the population, an unwitting population, to engage in pagan and satanic rituals without them knowing, for your own gain? Mendus. Post-diluvian. That's done it! Now I can enter the strange decontamination. Oh yeah, you're gonna need decontaminated after walking through this shit. Chamber once again and move onward. The waters are pushed back. You call that water? Making the way to the bilge clear, where I can divert the remainder of this filthy torrent back into the Thames. Yeah, just pour all this shit into the river where it belongs and clear the path to the center of the machine. I do understand that in various times throughout London's history, the Thames just became so absolutely filthy it was unbearable. Or however they pronounce it, the Thames. Let's see if I can backtrack my way out of here. I'm not going this way. No backtracking for me. Oh yeah, that's open now.
That's it, Papa. You're so near now.
Are they what I think they are? Chipotle burritos. Oh, another one of these things. I forget how this thing works. Pull this and jerk off here. No, damn it, you're not doing it right. Oh, there you go, sir. You gotta put that thing up. Close that door right there now. Go over to this one. Jerk this handle off a bit. Pull that sucker down. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we are. Alright, let me out of here. These things look way too much like the bathyspheres from BioShock. The fuck? Methinks he hath become the god of endless consumption, immutation, mutilation, a nest of wretches. Dear God, old nest of these foul creatures, no mind. My instincts have drawn me thus far, and I am sure somewhere in this dank complex is a means of further descent. I will not see their faces as they go about their dark business, and yet I watch them sleep and eat and play as if they are so very human, so very childlike. I will not think of what I have seen, of the chairs and the cages, and I will not think of how such monsters may be sculpted. By your hand, of course. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Remember, it was human. What would you call it? Science? Progress? Evolution? Satanic? Completely immoral? Evil? Or, I'm sure, as some people in the Third Reich may have said, a means to an end. Oh no, the Japanese were no better. And the Japanese didn't really pay for their war crimes either, which is a damn shame. Just look up... I think his name was Shiro Ichi. Let me look up that name real quick. Shiro Ishii. He was the commander, or the head man, at Unit 731, Japanese Experimental Biological Warfare Unit. The shit that they did there made Joseph Mengele, the Doctor of Death in Nazi Germany, look tame in comparison. And the worst thing about what happened to Shiro Ichi and people like Mengele at the end of the war was a lot of these people were brought into the Western countries. In fact, Shiro Ichi, evil son of a bitch, died in peace. In fact, there's even evidence to suggest that he was one of the founding fathers of Fort Detrick's experimental weapons program, the biological warfare units. I've said this in other videos before, most of what we're told about what happened and transpired in World War II near the end is all a lie. That looks like some sort of an occult symbol. Shh, my balls. Very vague reference to a movie there. 20 points if you get it. I'll give you a hint. It starred... Oh, what was that guy's name? He was in Old School. Not Will Ferrell, not Vince Vaughn, the other guy. He's related to Owen Wilson. Luke Wilson. Couldn't think of his name. Boy, this thing's falling apart. Oh, almost fell off that ladder there. I'm guessing that big old cult-like looking door is the way out.